YouTube, what the Galactic Empire crap is going on? HeirofCarthage here, back on Star Wars Empire at War. Pretty excited about this, because this campaign's been a lot of fun, and it's going to continue to be a lot of fun, I believe. Let's see, we do have...
ready.
So that's Colonel Veers and his little AT-AT. Let's pause it real quick, because we probably got some... no, we don't need to pause it. Unpause it. I mean, like, who's really going to be able to attack us to any degree of success? So no need to pause. I'm feeling like we're in a pretty strong position. And right now I'm kind of focusing on building some land forces. So I've got AT-ATs, these 2M repulsor tanks, and some Lancets being trained at BIS. BIS is really my only heavy vehicle factory around. Got a Juggernaut transport. That might be fun to build one of. I'm just going to keep building a lot of fun stuff. I don't have a ton of population limit left, though I have enough to get done with what I need to. Let's go ahead and pull that guy in here. And I'm training Dark Troopers.
Removing corruption.
Let's see, is there... I wish there was a way to select all of a certain unit type. I don't know if this game has that or if I just haven't figured it out. Let's see... Looks like I'm just kind of alternating the Type 2 and 3 Dark Troopers there. The Type 1 Dark Troopers are a melee unit, and I don't find them to be very good at anything, because melee units kind of have to like stop and then start wailing on each other. So I find that Jedi tend to be the only melee unit that seem to be worthwhile. I mean, there may be others, I just haven't run onto them. But that's just what I see. We need some Scout Troopers. Actually, we could train the Scout Troopers elsewhere, so let's keep training the good stuff here. We got some anti-air walkers just in case we need it. Man, the Consortium is pouring it on thick, but it doesn't matter because we can afford to remove any corruption they throw at us at this point because of the way we've handled the finances. So they really can't hurt us. But they are trying. You hear that corruption coming in non-stop. 3 planets straight right there. 4 planets. So the Consortium is apparently rolling around in money,
Corruption has been removed.
which I imagine if the game cheats for them as much as it does on their ships and other units, it probably cheats pretty hard on their economy too, as far as them being OP. I've never played as the Zan Consortium. I just don't get into that kind of thing. Like, I'm not interested in like that criminal element of Star Wars. I just doesn't, yeah, I don't know, it doesn't do it for me. So I just never have been interested in even playing a campaign or a Galactic Conquest with them or anything. Let's just go ahead and I'm going to tank up all of my stuff there. So we've got the corruption off all of our planets. So I say that as soon as I got finished, they did another one. And there's going to continue to be a lot of corruption. We're going to have to get some fleets rolling. I probably shouldn't stay too turtled up like this for too long. We need to capture Korriban, but I'm busy building up a substantial ground force. And I am not going to use the Death Star to destroy many planets, because I'd like to take those planets over. But we'll kind of just play it by ear. We could go ahead and hit Selakami. The Death Star is going to take a while to get there anyway. Got our repulsor lifts and our Lancet wings. We're gonna get a couple of those. Get another repulsor tank.
Construction complete.
Another Lancet wing. Let's get over here and just find a spot where I can train.
Recruiting.
Let's get some Scout Troopers, because those guys are good for spotting for your artillery. Death Star is on its way. I'm trying to think if there's any other major construction we need to carry out. I'm going to go ahead and just build a barracks there on Kessel, because if it gets hit by a little rebel force, it could be kind of hard to take out. I'm going to train up some more TIE Fighter, or TIE Phantoms and TIE Defenders. They'll be handy in my fleet. I've got Imperial Star Destroyers rolling off the line over here too, so I can actually probably get a 3rd fleet going. It'd just be a non-hero fleet. We got some... Okay, we have some more corruption to take care of, but Darth Vader has arrived at Selukami. We're up against some probably... I don't know if it's going to be heavy rebel resistance, but we haven't seen Home 1 yet either from the rebels. I don't know if they're suffering as far as trying to tech up. I would love nothing more to one-shot Admiral Akbar with the Death Star's main weapon. That would be pretty entertaining, to say the least.
This pitiful force is preventing our assault on this system.
I'm gonna move up.
So that we can secure orbit for the Empire.
Bomber Star Destroyer reporting in. Cruiser reporting.
I'm gonna move up some of my cruisers, send my TIE fighters out on an attack run, and just send my TIE bombers on a suicide mission at their hangar. And what I'm hoping to do, let's see, so I can call in quite a few reinforcements too. I don't see any substantial resistance element for the rebels. I'm gonna call in a couple more Imp Stars here. I'm gonna bring in my interdictor cruiser and trap the rebels. Bring in a couple more victory cruisers. So the gravity well was in place.
Awaiting command. My scopes are jammed.
Enemy base will be in range in 15 seconds.
Confirmed.
Okay, we've got crud loads of TIE interceptors
As you wish, my
roving the map.
Enemy base will be in range in 5
The hangar almost got taken out, actually. The enemy base is almost in range.
Enemy base in range.
I'm going to go ahead and take my Victory class Star Destroyers, and I'm going to go on an attack move to here and hit those platforms. And then I'm going to get my 3 standard Star Destroyers, go on an attack move straight towards the station. And let's make a slow move this way with Vader's Super Star Destroyer so that it can bring more of its guns to bear in this fight. So yeah, my Victory Cruisers just cut through the platform, so I'm going to go ahead and move on up. Yeah, the rebels are just under a horrendous amount of fire at the moment. I've got 14 interceptor squadrons roving the map, taking out fighter cover, and my bombers nearly destroyed their hangar, not quite. And the corvettes that they do have are just getting pummeled so badly by fire from my cruisers that it's basically keeping them from being effective versus my fighters, which works out good for me. Yeah. This will actually be kind of a fun one to maybe get some close-up views on, or I say that, the cinematic views. Look at this bomber cam here, I guess. It's looking pretty. Look at the swarms of TIE interceptors out there. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, look, all the Star Destroyers in that view. So Rebels, I love views like this. This is one of my favorite things about this game. Maybe getting some of the cinematic cam. Just like if you're gonna play as the Empire, you've got to have like overwhelming forces and numbers. It's just so like nostalgic of the movie, you know, where the rebels just constantly running away from the huge Imperial fleets and ships and all that kind of stuff. So definitely fun. So Vader's fleet here is nigh invincible, depending on what we come up against. At least versus the AI at this point, it will be. So we've gotten probably enough ground units completed to get started with. I say that I need some stormtroopers and stuff too. Let's go over to Wayland. We can train some more stormtroopers here.
Recruiting soldiers.
Just get a crud load of stormtroopers. Look here, we got the
Enlisting.
scout troopers coming.
Constructing.
TIE defender standing by.
I'm gonna go ahead and put one of each unit up in orbit that I'm training at each planet, so it's easier for me to recognize which planet I'm training what on. And then Biss will continue to be my heavy factory that cranks out like my more substantial ground forces. I mean, we could probably go ahead and put together a little ragtag force and go take Korriban or Salakami, but I'd kind of like to do this the fun way, which again would be with overwhelming forces. I've got quite a few dark troopers. We got a fleet approaching us at Ilum. That's actually one of my weakest points, so it's a good spot for them to attack me. Though I do have 6 acclimators. Their biggest threat's going to be the Y-Wings. I actually think we can beat this back if things go my way. The acclimators aren't going to have as good a firepower as like these Nebulon Bs or the assault frigates, but I have quite a few ships here that could help me pull this off in the end if we do it right. if I use my TIE bombers that are spawning from the acclimators and the starbase correctly, we should be able to get rid of the enemy capital ships, and we'll just need to make sure that we get rid of enemy Y-wings. Let's get all these ships back here.
You've let unidentified ships slip through
I'm gonna get my defenders and kind of hold them back for later.
Reinforcements en route.
We got a Tartan cruiser.
Bomber squadron.
Let's get all of our bombers back here, all of our fighters back here.
Broadside cruiser
Get
reporting.
broadside cruisers. Just get everybody back to the covering fire of the starbase.
We've located the enemy.
Got some X-wings inbound.
Awaiting your
I'm gonna
command.
get my Tartan cruiser
Forward.
ready to hit incoming Y-wings.
Your order, sir.
Okay, so now I'm going to...
Cannons armed. Full
Okay,
speed.
got my Tartan cruisers up front.
Cruiser here.
Again, I want to keep everything close so that we can support with all of our firepower from one position. And we've got a pretty good amount of firepower lined up here with...
I copy. Cruiser standing by.
just stop there. Okay,
Ready, sir.
we've got pretty much every angle covered here. Got missile cruisers and all kinds of stuff. Let's keep our Tartan cruisers
Moving. Right
back
away.
just a bit. I don't want them to get destroyed by these heavier frigates. That Corellian gunboat can shoot through shields, but it's going to take a savaging from all my acclimators here.
System is down.
Let's go hit some of the
Our launch bay has been disabled.
some of my acclimators are taking damage. Not a real big deal. Okay, let's go hit this Nebulon B.
Roger that. Form up.
I lost one of my Tartan cruisers there, which is unfortunate. But that Corellian Corvette's getting whooped up on pretty bad.
Choose your reinforcements.
I can't yet call in another acclimator cruiser, but as soon as I can, I will. My TIE bombers are out here jacking up this guy. Okay, so they do have a Marauder cruiser, which is actually pretty good versus my bombers too.
Target the lasers.
Awaiting orders.
And the Tartan cruiser they blew up was actually not the one that was just a garrison unit, unfortunately. But yeah, with all the extra firepower of my my fighters and my starbase, we should be in good shape here.
Receiving orders.
Form up.
We can just keep our TIE fighters out harassing enemy fighters. Keep trying to lure in enemy units, because if they come in for an assault, I'm going to have a pretty substantial force to deal with them. Yeah, my TIE fighters are picking up those Y-wings out there, so that's good.
Eyes reporting in.
Awaiting orders. Locking on.
There we go. Just make sure my TIE fighters are all out on patrol.
Commander, they're hitting us.
Some of my TIE fighters are getting out into a nebula, though, and getting stuck. Not a big deal. That battered Nebulon B frigate still sitting there. I'm keeping my TIE bombers, or my TIE defenders in reserve, because I don't have many of them.
Stay in formation.
Get behind them.
I'm gonna let my TIE fighters
Space station under attack.
keep going from it. Okay, so that Marauder cruiser, I do want a piece of that Marauder cruiser. I don't like the fact that it can sit back from long range and do what it's gonna do.
Where'd he go?
My broadside cruiser's putting missiles after those X-wings. The broadside cruisers are pretty good versus enemy fighters. Definitely good at taking out swarms.
Falling out of formation.
I don't know what they're trying to do with that Marauder cruiser. We'll have to make sure it doesn't get any shots at us. Okay, that X-wing's going for my TIE defenders. I'm going to try and lure them back
Draw their fire.
towards the missiles
Proceeding.
of my fleet here.
Received. Right away.
Attack formation.
Let's see. They got another Corellian gunboat over here. Or several more of them, actually.
Course set.
Defenders ready.
Okay, I'm going to get my defenders back down here in hiding,
Fallout.
Space station damaged.
because it's not my ideal for them to be fighting that. Okay. I'm going to let my cruisers focus some fire on these different corvettes and gunships. Let's keep my TIE bombers away from this mess, because they're about to get lit up. I'm going to focus fire on this gunship here. It's taking a pretty big beating. Make sure my broadside cruisers don't get killed. Okay, we took out a gunship. So the rebels are losing ships pretty quickly. I am taking some damage to some of my cruisers. Let's go out on the attack. I'm gonna
Cruiser here. Reporting
get these guys. Call them Group 2.
Ready.
Group 3 here.
Space
sir.
station
Let's go.
under attack.
I'm gonna move out and actually see if we can lure the rebels out.
Awaiting your command.
Torpedo launcher is offline.
They're not actually causing any damage to my base. Whenever it's calling out that damage, for the most part, that's my my cruisers that are being hit. I'm gonna have to get out here and hit this get this Marauder cruiser. Like I said, I'm gonna let my broadside cruisers and other ships back here kind of cover the base. The base is getting hit actually and damaged.
Ready for action.
Let's run the upgrades here. I didn't realize I had those.
Lost the missile launcher.
Their Marauder cruiser probably ran away from me.
Standing by.
They tend to be able to successfully run away from you pretty easily. My broadside cruisers are getting hammered by Corellian corvettes, and the corvettes actually are capable of taking them out. This is bad.
Cruiser standing by.
Yeah, this is bad. Don't want them to get my broadside cruisers. Get the heck away!
Moving out. Heading out.
Yeah, these corvettes are gonna get in here and rip me apart.
Into that area.
Just an absolute swarm of Corellian corvettes now. And they are going to probably get both my broadside cruisers, because my cruisers were not nearby to protect them. So that was kind of a blunder on my part. I didn't realize they had so many Corellian corvettes here at one time. The Corellian corvettes, the AI will use them to just come in and harass and then go away. And they'll just... Okay, and now here come the Y-Wings when I'm not in a very good position to stop them either. So this is actually a pretty good move by the AI here.
Choose your reinforcements.
But I can get more reinforcements in here too. And I'll start taking out Y-Wings with my Tartan cruiser.
Form up. Awaiting orders.
Space station under attack.
I copy.
Okay. So we managed to chase off all the corvettes here.
Moving out.
They've still got that stupid Marauder cruiser out there that I'd love to get rid of. Mostly just a lot of corvettes here, though.
Let's move out. Reporting.
Okay, the Marauder cruiser's within range of several of my acclimators, though it's going to turn and hightail it out of there. Might be able to get it before it gets out of range. Probably not, though. No, it's going to get out of range again. Yeah, they took a hard point off my space station.
Cruiser here.
It's probably the gunboats. I think they can shoot through shields.
Reporting in.
The rebel corvettes are going to continue to kite away from me, which is irritating. Ah, there we go. We can get their.
Attack that
Come
target.
on, get that Marauder cruiser. Get it.
Let's move out.
I'm gonna get up here and try and get that Marauder cruiser. Finish it off. There we go.
Where'd he go? Nowhere to run.
They should still have Y-Wings left. But I'm trying to get rid of some of these corvettes. My cruisers will make pretty short work of corvettes when they're in these kind of numbers. The corvettes otherwise can get away with quite a bit of punishment because of their speed. Okay, let's bring our corvettes back down, or I mean our cruisers back down.
Cruiser online. Ready.
The only fighters that are getting pasted down here by the corvettes at this point. Crap. My TIE defenders ended up getting pasted up here. Oh well. Not too big of a deal. We actually managed to defend here. I wouldn't say it was great, but
Keep going.
one of our acclimators got its engines blown out, so that's why they're all moving so slow.
Ready.
Typically the acclimator's a bit faster. Here we go. I see a bunch of Y-wings coming in.
Location confirmed. Your order, sir.
I'm gonna get TIE fighters ordered up on them, and then I've got my Tartan cruiser inbound too.
Cruiser reporting. Advancing.
Hopefully we'll keep those Y-wings off of our
Enemies in range.
capital ships. They're gonna tear up that acclimator a little bit though.
Closing on target. Initiating attack.
Got more Y-wings hypering in,
Awaiting
and they're hypering in right in front of a Tartan cruiser. But we've got an assault frigate behind us.
our target
We're gonna have to get our
confirmed. Forward.
Tartan cruiser away from this. This is going to be my main anti-Y-wing tool at this point, so I don't want to lose it.
Cannons armed. Ready, sir.
Okay, so Group 2 is pouring all their fire on the assault frigate, and they should be successful at taking it out.
Frequency open.
See more Y-wings that we need to bust up. So the rebels sending quite a few numbers after me here, but not really having the quality to take me on here. And this is just my low-level units too, so they're lucky that I didn't garrison a couple of Imperial Star Destroyers up here. Okay, they're after my Tartan cruiser, and they're gonna get it. Let's see if I can kill a Y-wing or two before it gets me.
Awaiting orders.
So my TIE fighters need to get out here and
Our engines are destroyed, sir.
focus on Y-wings for now. But we are overpowering the assault frigates by numbers here, though there's several more of them inbound.
Attacking target.
Let's get the bombers up here to help out, because now my acclimators are actually starting to get overwhelmed.
The lasers are our target. The torpedo launcher has been destroyed. Cruiser here. Reporting in.
Let's see, I need to get my
Form up.
Tartan cruiser up here again. Yeah, we're getting beat up pretty bad now. The rebels brought in more of their capital ships, so we may end up getting this turned around on us here. I've got some bombers in though, they're going to jack up that assault frigate a little. My cruiser group just got messed up pretty bad. The rebel cruisers tend to have better firepower,
Let's move out.
which is, well, better firepower than the lower level Imperial ships. The higher level Imperial ships, like the Star Destroyers, they hold their own. But because they all have that little shield boost thing, the rebel ships can basically withstand your turbo lasers indefinitely. See how they just pop that up, and then their shields, like I said, will basically just resist you. But I still think we have enough to pull this off. The biggest concern I have left is now I'm losing my ability to kill their corvettes, which was my capital ships.
Yes, sir. This way.
I'm gonna have to get out of here.
Over there.
My Tartan cruiser just got roasted.
Space station damaged.
Copy. We've lost the missile launcher.
Yeah, those corvettes are going to be a problem because I can respawn about as many fighters as I want, and the corvettes don't pose any real danger to the space station itself. But they do pose a threat to my TIE bombers, which I need to take out the rebel capital ships. This gunboat is actually a pretty serious concern too,
Primary target acquired.
because it can shoot through my shields, I believe. Yep. Its missiles aren't particularly damaging, but it can shoot through my shields, and my starbase is so weak and inaccurate that it really can't hope to...
Advancing.
I'm going to have to go after it with my Tartan cruiser, and then just keep throwing TIE bombers at their capital ships.
Ready. Forward.
Just go on an attack move. I'm going to overload the weapons. We've got to get rid of this Trellian gunboat here. I'm succeeding so far. I've got its shields down.
Targeting. Firing. Attacking.
There we go.
Enemies in range.
I'm going to kind of get away with that one. I got to keep my TIE bombers busy on capital ships.
Awaiting command.
There we go. Yeah, we'll survive. It's going to be ugly. I'll just take those Imperial Star Destroyers that I was working on, and some TIE Phantoms and Defenders, and we'll move them to Ilum to make sure that this weak spot is continually protected. Okay. I am gonna fast forward through some of this too, because this battle has taken a long time. Yeah, their frigate, it doesn't really have the capacity to overwhelm my shields. Not yet, at least.
Frequency open. Full speed. Moving.
I'm going to try and single out some of these Corellian corvettes with the Tartan cruiser, and we're just going to have to continue to try and make quick bomber runs and start busting up hard points. I'm going to have to get my Tartan cruiser out here away from the enemy frigates, because it's going to get destroyed.
Fire! Open fire! Attack that target! Attacking target!
Is there some reason why you're not attacking? I mean, the Corellian corvette's right in front of you.
Targeting!
I've got you on an attack move, so...
Heading out. Fall out. Let's move out. Let's go. Concentrating firepower. Keep going. This way. Over there. Location confirmed. Advancing.
The Tartan cruiser seems to be considerably slower than the Corellian corvette. Let's get my bombers. Start picking apart a capital ship. We'll continually get inbound reinforcements.
Our space station is under attack.
There we go. Bomber's got the last laser turret on that.
Awaiting orders. Full speed.
Gonna have to wait with my Tartan cruiser and try and single out corvettes. It's really gonna be my only
Copy.
option. I swear the rebel frigates are a lot faster than the Imperial ships for the most part too.
I copy.
Just gonna keep my Tartan cruiser away from. There we go. Got an assault frigate killed.
Target the lasers.
Let's go ahead and fast forward again so that the rebels to get their ships down here. I'm gonna go for the assault frigate here.
Our space station is under attack.
Okay, we got a hold of another assault frigate.
Moving out.
I'm gonna come hit this Nebulon B.
Reporting. Moving out.
Let's fast forward, see if my bombers can finish this guy off.
Comlink active. Roger that. Those laser banks.
Yeah, the enemy tends, like the rebels, well, the AI in general tends to just run away from you incessantly. Sometimes it actually benefits them, like right there where they ran back to Corvette cover, and other time it's just to prolong you killing them.
Form up. Target the lasers. Awaiting orders. Those
Only a couple of hard points left on this assault frigate. It doesn't have any engines, so it ought to be an easy target.
Orbital command available.
We're about to take out a last couple enemy capital ships.
Copy. Those laser banks are the primary target.
And when the enemy capital ships go down, the corvettes literally will be left without recourse. I'm surprised the rebels haven't retreated yet.
Yes, Commander.
There they go.
Copy. Those laser banks are the primary target.
There, we got the engines on that Nebulon B so it can't escape. So all I got away with is a couple of Corellian corvettes. We inflicted extremely heavy losses on them. Definitely a long fight, but a worthwhile one. So let's return to the Galactic, take these Imperial Star Destroyers, send them up to Ilum, and let's go ahead and
Vehicle in
start
production.
training out plenty of TIE Defenders. Right now the Maw has a level 5 space station, so it can defend itself fairly well.
Unit in production.
I'm going to get some TIE Phantoms headed up to Ilum as well. There we go. So Ilum ought to have pretty nice defenses now, to be quite honest.
Constructing unit.
What with Imperial Star Destroyers. Oh wow! So as soon as my Star Destroyers got to Ilum, a giant pirate fleet jumped in and wants to give me a big fight too. They've only got a few, so they've got some gunships, frigates. They ought to be outgunned by my Imperial Star Destroyers, but then again, the pirates have everything that shoots through your shields too. So I guess we're going to end up fighting a big battle against the pirates here too, and it's a good thing we sent all these Star Destroyers up here. I've got all 5 Star Destroyers.
Our hold on this system must not be compromised. Seek out and destroy every intruder to our system.
Awaiting your orders.
Which is a pretty considerable force. Call that group.
Awaiting your command.
Call that group 1, get back here.
Your command, sir.
Call this group 2, get back here. Stay away from their corvettes.
Commander.
Reinforcements en route.
Group 1,
Reporting in.
group 2, 1, 2,
Roger that.
group 3.
Ready. Fall out.
Destroyer here. Copy.
1,
I copy.
2. Okay, so far
Reporting.
our Star Destroyers are going to hold their own very easily here. I'm going to go ahead and
Standing by.
use a tractor beam to hold that ship a little so we can finish it off. It's still trying to get away from me, but it's going to get hammered there. So yeah, our Star Destroyer is easily holding it back. I'm going to hold my fighters in reserve for whenever I see the blast boats coming in.
Starting cruiser
Star
reporting.
Destroyer reporting in.
I don't know where you're going. Stop, please.
Order confirmed.
Move my Star Destroyer. Yep, here's all the blast boats coming in from one side.
Shields are down.
So I'm going to get my interceptors all over their blast boats because they just ripped one of my Star Destroyers to shreds. So we got a massive fighter brawl going over here, but they are tearing up one of my Star Destroyers pretty badly. And they've dropped a bunch of stupid buzz droids right in the middle of it too.
Space station under attack.
So one of our Star Destroyers took a pretty good beating. But they're savaging the enemy cruisers with relative ease. Just keep my bombers up here in the midst of the pack here. Got more blast boats, so the pirates know what's good for them, and they're going to get out of here before they suffer yet more losses. And that was good for me, too, because I was able to keep my Imperial Star Destroyers all intact. And I've got reinforcements headed in. I think that's all the time I have for this episode. Obviously, I'm going to... I spent a lot of time on one space battle, but this is why you have to go defend. The AI on this game tends to know where your weakest points will be, and they'll attack them. And Ilum has a level 1 space station, so it helps to keep that fleet there. And just make sure that, in fact, we should probably put some ground troops there while we're thinking of it. HeirofCarthage signing off for now. See you back soon.